AI is going to take your job.
Yeah, recently there was a news that TCS has laid off almost 12,000 employees.
AI ultimately is a product. In the profit domain, it has to show something to, grow.
AI is actually just a wrapper over many other software systems. Like, for
AI is going to take your job. You must have heard it everywhere. It's better to be a plumber than to be a coder these days. Is it true? Or are we actually exaggerating something out of proportion? Hi, I am Swapna, and meet my friend Sharyu.
Hi.
We have been in the IT industry for the past 15 years, and now we are here to touch on some serious and sensitive topics like AI. So, welcome to our podcast.
So, today we are going to talk about a very important topic that is in everyone's mind. And the topic is AI going to take your job?
So, a very serious topic today,
Yeah, a very
and a very hot topic, in fact.
Yeah, recently there was a news that TCS has laid off almost 12,000 employees. And I think
Correct.
that has driven this conversation. Like, they have said that since many people are not able to upskill or not able to learn AI, we are laying off. Is that true or not? We are going to talk about it today, right?
Yes, definitely. And even more than that, I think we are going to dive into actually how AI has come into this market. How is it exactly pushed down on us? So, if you ask me, in about 2023, actually, this all things have, taken account, have started in 2023.
Yeah.
When, everybody came, Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, and even Sam Altman at that time became the name that we know today. Okay, OpenAI and everybody. So they came and they started telling us that AI is coming and it is going to, disrupt industries. Okay, and change a lot of things that we as in see today in our day-to-day lives.
Concern. Like with all technological revolutions, I expect there to be significant impact on jobs.
There will come a point where no job is needed. You can have a job if you want to have a job for sort of personal satisfaction, but the AI will be able to do everything.
Yes, it is true. Some way it is true. I understand that it is going to disrupt a lot of things. Okay. But we have to understand that basically AI ultimately is a product. It's a product and it has backing. It has an entire set of people which are promoting it. Okay. And it has been pushed down to us at a very rapid speed. Then, any other disruptions which have come in the past have been pushed down to us.
AI is going to be so useful as an assistant. I think that people will be willing to pay for it too. We are introducing subscription plans. So there's a lot of headroom ahead, I think. And obviously that's why we are investing, because we see that opportunity.
What is the reason of pushing AI to us now, and that too so fast? Like, why are people expected to learn AI so fast? What do you think about that?
See, there are a lot of things to it. First of all, it is a billion-dollar industry now.
Mhm.
And once it becomes a profit making organization, it has to show profits. And profits can only become when it is, fast growing. Like in today's days, there is nothing slow. Everything is fast. So if you see, OpenAI was non-profit at one time, right?
True.
It was a non-profit organization, and it I am basically more of discussing with for the OpenAI because that's more available and more understandable to every normal a person, not only coders. So there are other AIs also, as you know, Copilot and Midjourney and Gemini, everything is there. Okay.
Hmm.
But OpenAI was once non-profit, and it has become, after Microsoft investment, it has become a profit generating organization. Once it is in the profit domain, it has to show something to grow. That is the obvious reality. So I think that is the major thing because of which AI has been pushed to us, and plus it is helpful in many areas. It is helpful. It is a great way for coders to actually code fast, right? What do you think, Sharyu? What let's get down to the serious discussions, because AI over here, as I said, is going to disrupt industries. First of all, let's see which jobs are actually in soup. There are some jobs I understand which are in a complete soup, but so let's just list down for our viewers that which jobs actually are going through this disruption.
So yeah, the low level coding jobs I feel are going to be not too much in demand. Like I think any coding app, like I know that there is an app called Cody, which actually writes the code for you if you give it a context. Of course, AI cannot do anything without context. It needs to know everything, but even that has limitations. So any place where some background is needed, some context is needed, AI is not that helpful. So complex, high-level design, system design, complex architectures, such things are still going to stay. Yes, menial jobs are going to go, but complex jobs like system design and all are going to still stay. So if you're doing data entry, admin jobs, or coding,
Correct.
uh, these kind of jobs may not stay after AI has come up, but complex jobs will stay. That's what I feel.
But don't you think, Sharyu, there were these automation tools earlier also which used to do a lot of basic coding, okay, generally for us. What the change that I have gone through is that instead of going on Stack Overflow, right now I go to ChatGPT and ask some questions.
Yes.
Okay, that is the difference that I have encountered. Right after AI coming into picture. Okay. So you are correct that basic coding and these repetitive tasks are going to go away. But they were, as it is not relevant. I don't think so. Anybody today is going to hire you for doing just a kind of basic coding,
Correct.
which anybody can do today. I don't think so. Hiring works that way even today, right? Or there are jobs which you will get only if you know one language. I don't think so. That part has been missing or has been thrown out of the window for more than 5-6 years. That that the hiring is completely based on you. If you know Java, okay, then you're hired. Or if you know C++, then you're hired. Or if you know 1DB, okay, you're hired. Just write queries. I don't think so that the job market has been this way for a very long time, right?
True.
So,
in fact, I mean, just to that point, I realized automation was the boom just before AI was coming up.
correct.
And in a way, automation is actually AI, isn't it?
I think right now, yes.
Yeah. So, like I said, I felt low-level coding and
Correct.
data entry and admin kind of jobs may not stay. What else? What other jobs can we list? Content creation, I guess, writing the script.
Content writing, script writers, content writing, all these jobs are in big issue. basic coding, obviously, any kind of an ed tech kind of a world. Before this, you had a lot of ed tech companies coming, up. They had a lot of profits and all. But after AI, I think mostly people are going to ask AI and get their education or extra upskilling from AI instead of joining some app which is going to teach them. Okay, so that industry, I think, will get disrupted quite a lot. And obviously, content writing, script writing, basic coding, automation, a lot of these things also are going to be done by these agentic models, as we call them. Okay, because they are being trained at a high level to do all these repetitive and automated tasks right now. Okay, so I think we both agree, right, that AI is going to cause disruptions to these industries quite a lot, and basic coding is going to, go away completely. I think
Correct.
that we have established over
Yeah,
here.
correct.
Right.
I have one story to tell. Like I had in one of my projects that I have been working on.
Yeah.
When I started the project, I think it was few years back, 4 years back, when I started the project, it was a OCR project, like reading the documents in an automated way. A system should be able to read the documents rather than
Okay.
a person himself. So there were tools in place, okay? I'm not going to name the exact tools for obvious reasons, but there are tools in place which can do, there are services which can do this OCR of documents very easily. And when I started with that project, it was called automation. And by the time the project was working and the clients had started using it, it started being sold. The sales team and everything started calling it AI product. So that is something I
Oh,
mentioned. People today don't even know completely what is AI. Whatever they are doing in an automated way, they are calling it an AI as well. So we have to be, aware of this fact that what is AI in reality in today's world. So yeah, that is one story I wanted to share.
it's interesting because, a lot of these things are wrappers.
Yeah.
If you understand what I don't know, maybe we can explain it in simple terms.
Hmm.
A sheep in the lion's skin.
True.
So a lot of these are wrappers. Okay, so you take something very simple and you wrap it with the look, the basics of the AI, and you sell it as an AI. Okay, so a lot of things are so behind actually these all so-called AI. Huge these things. Everything down below is the everyday infrastructure that actually we use in a project.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I say an AI, it is breaking down into a lot of things. Okay, so when all these companies are fighting to make their AI products better and better and better, there is an entire system undergoing which has been worked on so rigorously, which is taking data, working on data day and night, cleaning the data, preparing the data for these, models. And even these models have been worked on by a lot of people. There are algorithms which are getting learned every day, and somebody is 100% doing this job. And then there is data preparation and the model, maybe somebody is working on making the model much better, maybe changing the algorithm every day or something. And you have the train and the test data, you need to see the results, then the results are going to get filtered out, then there is some kind of a front end or some kind of visualization which comes into picture, then there are these ETL pipelines through which all the data needs to get processed. So this entire thing is happening underneath. Okay, and then these people wrap it around saying that this is AI. Now take it. This is your gift wrapped package.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is AI. But underneath, there are so many systems working. And if somebody is not working on them, they are going to go away. You cannot just have a AI running an AI at least today. There need to be somebody who is working on this data. At least for today, at least for the next 5 years, I actually don't think how it will happen. If it happens, it will be a shock for me. But even I feel that it will not happen so soon because there is this huge system which is still in place and which still needs to be worked on by people like you and me and somebody who is watching our podcast. Correct?
Yeah, Swapna, I completely agree. AI is actually just a wrapper over many other software systems. Like, for example, we were just talking about OpenAI, right? OpenAI itself is a wrapper around many Azure services. So many Azure's cloud services are being used behind it. So it is just a wrapper. I completely agree with you. But when we're talking about AI and that such a big change that it is bringing in for us, is this the first time that change is happening? If you look at it, there has been so many revolutions. Like there has been computer revolution where people didn't even know how to work with computers and they learned how to work with them. Then after that, there was internet era where people started using internet and started learning how to use internet effectively for their work as well. So even that was a very big revolution, right? A big change per se. So similar to that, this is also a change, isn't it? What do you think? Is this not a change which we can adapt and we can be sure that we'll be able to adapt this one?
Absolutely, sir. Sharyu, you are bang on, actually. This is a very important point that people need to understand that this is not the first time that the society is going through a huge change or something which is going to disrupt a lot of things. I'm using this word quite a lot because I hear this word from everywhere.
Yeah.
So, to give you a good example, you gave a good example, okay? Computers. When computers came into picture, obviously you and I were not, that time, but I hear stories about, my parents tell me that literally people used to go and they used to break computers. That these computers are going to take away all the human, all the human jobs, all the clerical jobs will go, everything will go, librarian jobs will go, nothing will be there, and everybody will be jobless. During that time, also this was a problem. Even if I go a little back, not little, a lot back where to the Industrial Revolution, when machines came into picture, we as people are very afraid of change. And I get it. Even I am afraid of change. But we have to go back to history to understand that change has always been for the better. If we go through this mindset that change has always been for the better, we can adapt to AI and the changes that it brings into our life very well. So if you see Industrial Revolution, it did not take away jobs. Actually, it created another medium set of jobs which were more creative, more, not, everyday repetition kind of jobs. It gave opportunity to something else. When computers came into picture, similarly, it gave opportunity to a lot of things. An entire big industry was developed. You understand? You and I won't be here if computers were not there. Okay. And I'll add one more thing to it. Sharyu, when internet came into picture, what were computers without internet? Tell me. Would you and I be able to have this podcast, and show it to others if internet was not available? So actually, it created a new set of opportunities. So if you think about, these huge changes that have come into society, the only problem, the first and the foremost problem that they have created is they have moved people. They have displaced jobs.
Yeah.
So displacement doesn't necessarily mean that everything will go away. Displacement means you have to move, you have to upskill, and you have to go from, something that you are doing every day to something new. Okay, so for example, I was a corporate employee. Okay, I was doing everyday job, but today I'm doing this podcast. Okay, so for me, this is a displacement. Okay, I necessarily did not, uh, leave everything. I am displacing something from here to
To
here.
this point, I have one story to talk about. Even my like this is from a generation before me. That is, my dad has been working in a bank, okay, and earlier all these jobs in all our banks in India were all manual, right? When computer revolution came in, they were all frightened that their jobs are going to go away. But then the banks themselves gave training to these employees that you guys learn computers. Of course, they had to spend some extra time learning these things, but they learned computer as well. And then their jobs continued, but along with the computers, their jobs got easier. So this is a true story. Similar thing is going to happen with us too. That's what we are coming to, right? Yeah.
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 But there is one thing which I want to add over here. See,
Hmm.
all these that we are talking about, the computer, the internet, even the dot-com burst, these all were a little, slow-paced changes. They were a little slow to get implemented.
Yeah.
The problem with AI is that because of internet, social media, and all these things, and even the data centers that we have today, which are capable of processing such huge amounts of data, due to all this capability, what has happened is this change is a little faster, and the adoption towards it also should be a little faster from the both. Okay,
Exactly.
from everybody in the in the IT industry, in the coding world, we have to match up to the speed, which can be difficult. It's okay, not everybody is going to be at that level at the same time. That's fine, but we have to start. We have to give it some time, and we have to start. We will talk about this later in at the end of our podcast, that what are the skills that actually will come up with AI, and what needs to be done. But but to continue, my point is that we have to start matching AI speed. And there is a very interesting thing, okay, which is going on. Okay, I'll tell you my personal experience when I was working, and I heard about at this very start, maybe 2022 2023 start, that AI is going to come and it is going to replace everything. There was a bit of fear in me, maybe even today, but I had this huge fear in me that, oh my god, I'm going to lose my job, or everybody, this is going to disrupt, this is going to really be problematic and all. So this fear, I had this fear. That is a personal experience. But the more I thought about it, and the more I was doing my own job, I understood that this fear, if we all stay with this fear and we stop coding in general, because the perspective that these people have added is that you stop coding, because coding is going to be taken over by AI. You don't do it now. Okay, that is what is getting people are telling freshers or everybody else. But my own perspective to this is that is completely wrong, because when things get easier, when AI comes into picture, coding is going to get easier, obviously. Okay, due to multiple reasons. And when something gets easier, more people should actually do it. So actually, more people should come in and say, okay, AI is here, now I can be a coder. To the people who are having problems, understanding programming and the logic behind it, actually, even these people can come in and start doing something of their own. Obviously not vibe coding, but something of their own, right? So you understand, right? This fear mongering that is going on.
Completely agree. Like when you do coding, your logical mind sets in. So what is important is being logical, learning to be logical. And so learning coding has become easier for you. Hence, being logical has become easier for you. Start learning to be more logical, improve your ability to understand things, understand complex things, and that is how learning coding will also help you. So it's not just useless anymore. Like it is still useful. You have to learn coding. I completely agree with you, Swapna. So to quote this, we just have to say that don't fight AI, dance with AI, right?
Very nice sentence, actually.
Yeah. So how would you suggest that how should we dance with the AI? What should we do to learn AI? Should we learn some specific tools? What should we do about it?
Yes, so there are two parts. Okay, now there are people like you and me who have already been in the industry. We know the in and out of everything. I'm working on Azure from so many years.
Hmm.
I'm a data engineer. Okay, you are also doing a lot of things in your field. Okay, so we know the nitty-gritties of these, how they work and how AI is done. So let's divide it into two parts for people who actually don't understand what is going on,
Hmm.
and for people who actually are the coders and want to go improve something or upskill themselves.
Hmm.
For the people, I think those who don't understand what is going on, or non-IT background people, I think they should have just access to chat gpt and just understand, or even others, other AI, and understand how actually you can I say talk, or have a conversation and do something useful from it.
Yeah.
That is the one skill that I think the people who don't understand it can start from, and later on then obviously they can change.
To specify, like for example, with ChatGPT, you can ask your day-to-day questions, use ChatGPT for that. There are many AI tools which can generate images for you. There are many, if you need images in any way, let's say to post it on social media or anything, you can use such tools. Then there are many tools which can even generate animated videos for you. So it is called
Correct.
text to video AI tools. So you can research these smaller things if you're not into coding, and if you're not into software engineering a lot. At least know which are the tools that are available and how you can use it. These are easy tools, like their user interface is straightforward. You can start using it. And what about the other people, like who are actually software engineers who are mostly losing their jobs per se?
I would not. When somebody tells me, you're going to lose your job, you're going to lose your job, you're going to lose your job, I get reminded of every year I have been in the IT industry.
Yeah. So many.
From 2010, or no, 2008, 9, 10, every year, everybody comes and in my face, they will be like, oh, you're going to change your job this year. Don't do it. Market is down. Don't change your job.
True.
Don't change your company. You are going to lose your job. You will not get another company. You will not get the package. I don't understand. इतने साल से क्या सब लोग रिसेशन में चलते हैं?
अब तक रिसेशन था, अब एआई है.
हाँ, अब AI है. अभी रीजन मिल गया.
हाँ.
लिटरली वो बोलते हैं ना मराठी में, यू कॉल इट निमित्त.
हाँ.
सो वो गॉट एक रीजन मिल गया कि
हम्म.
बोलने का कि तुम्हारा जॉब निकलने वाला है. बट टू एवरीबडी, ये जो TCS का ले ऑफ भी, यू आर आस्किंग मी इन एट द वेरी स्टार्ट, आई केप्ट इट रिजर्व्ड माय आंसर that ये TCS layoffs happened and all. But do these and I don't know if people who are watching us, or anybody who is there in the industry, maybe you can, the people who are the students and all, they may get fooled. But I will tell to everybody that layoffs are not new to IT industry. This is not something new. I have seen this every year happening. Some companies do it very quietly. Nobody will understand. So they camouflage low performance into resignation. They give you a
Layoffs.
choice. You either resign or we will fire you. Obviously, you will choose resignation. So this is a silent kind of a layoff. So it has been present in the IT industry for a very
Yeah.
long time. This is
To
not
this
new.
point, Swapna, I read some news about it, okay, about this TCS layoffs. What has happened is they have laid off only mid and senior level employees. So when TCS hires, or when they started hiring, how did they start hiring is they were in waterfall model. They would take bigger pieces of work from clients and then have these senior management per se people who used to explain it to the developers. That role has gone away. So TCS has this had this way of hiring earlier, and these are the people who have lost their jobs, who are irrelevant now.
You are absolutely correct, and bullseye, because you know uh, you can reduce hiring, okay, for the freshers, or you can maybe not hire for a year. Okay, this happens a lot of time to a lot of companies. They do restructuring, they stop hiring for a year or two, and they come back and they hire. Okay, it depends based on company to company. But if you compare a fresher's salary to a senior management person's salary, any common man or common person will understand that to remove one senior manager will be better than to remove 10 freshers.
Exactly.
Okay, so 100% the first and foremost problem will be in the senior management category. Okay, yes, the offer letters may come a little later. Okay, yes, there will be problems. Maybe a year or two, the company will not come to your campus. But let me be very, very clear that except for the elite few colleges, there are multiple colleges from where this there no hiring takes place and people roam about. Okay, which we
Yes.
discussed in our first and
Earlier
second
video.
podcast earlier. So for us, it was not new. Okay, and because of social media and the fear mongering that these people have introduced a new way to sell their product. Fear is a very natural response. You can use fear for a lot of things. So if you actually make somebody afraid, अरे तू ये तेल नहीं लगाएगा तो तू गंजा हो जाएगा, तो क्या करे? रोज अगर आप बोलोगे तू तो गंजा हो रहा है, तू तो गंजा हो रहा है, तू तेल लगा ले, तू तेल लगा ले, तू गंजा हो रहा है, अगर वो थोड़ा भी लो कॉन्फिडेंस वाला बंदा रहेगा तो वो 10 बॉटल लेगा वो तेल की कि मैं अभी रोज लगाऊंगा, दिन रात लगाऊंगा, मैं गंजा नहीं होऊंगा करके. दिस इज व्हाट फियर डज टू अ पर्सन. ओके, एक छोटा सा पिंपल आया तो चालू प्रोडक्ट लगाना. This is how they sell. So it's the same way, even AI. Yes, it's a good thing that AI is here. It's a good thing and we have to accept it. We have to go through this change. But the fear that comes with it is too much exaggerated. That is what my point is. Okay, we as a society have been going through disruptions, layoffs a lot of times in the history. Yes, maybe it will increase a little bit, maybe twofold increase will be there. But if you are afraid of it and if you stop coding, okay, and if you maybe go somewhere else and leave something which you actually were doing, maybe you are a science student, engineering student, and you wanted to do coding. Okay, that was your aspiration, but because AI is telling that coders will go away, you stopped and started doing something else, or your mind got diverted. Okay, you are not able to concentrate and do that coding or learn it at the same level that you used to do it because of the fear that has been given to you. Then I think you should stop and just silently do your work and upskill.
So coming
Be-
back to
to
our
stay
point,
relevant.
this is what all the software engineers should be doing. Keep upskilling yourself. Okay.
Correct. So essentially, I am not saying that array rose ka rose you change your direction. What I mean to say, Saryu, is that it's not necessary that you should know everything today. You give yourself these 10 to 15 minutes every day, maybe prepare. Okay. And then after 3 to 6 months, it is a huge difference in what you know today and what you know after 6 months, 3 months to 6 months. Yeah. So, yes, I think that's what I wanted to say. And what do you think should people do now? I mean, once AI comes into picture, what are the skills that will be hot with AI or needed? Yeah.
We have been talking so much about uh, what AI has brought in. Now is the time to talk about solutions as well, isn't it? So, what should people do now that AI is here? How should they approach the learning? If if you think about it, AI can do, maybe AI can do menial jobs, like I said, but AI cannot do complex things. So, first of all, things like system architecture, this thing cannot be relied on AI. So, learning system architecture, learning cloud technologies. Also, in your day to day, when you're working on your coding, let's say, use these AI tools to write the code. When you're writing JUnit tests, for example, in Java domain, we call it J. These are just unit tests, okay? Whatever code you have written, just test it. So you can ask these tools to write the unit tests. It reduces a lot of your manual work. Then yeah, these are the things in day to day that you can do. Use Copilot enough. Uh use apps like Cody. These are the things that you can do, is what I think. Anything
Correct.
else that you think we can add and help our watchers here, Swapna?
I think yes, because there is a huge shift which is going to happen. And there is one skill, Sharyu, which is going to emerge like anything. And people need to watch out this space. And I think more and more people need to join this because there will be a lack of skilled professionals in this domain, and that is the data domain.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. So, agar if there is no data, there is nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. And if there is garbage in, then there will be garbage out.
Yeah.
Okay. So in data terminologies, we say that if a model is not performing well, the data is 100%, not 100%, maybe 99% to blame.
Correct.
So this space is going to get utilized quite a lot. There will be a huge lack of people who are good data engineers, okay, who are good maybe data analysts, data preparation roles. Okay, so this space is going to have a lot of job opportunities. Okay, so people need to work more at this side, the data preparation side, because these models consume so much data that it is really nearly impossible for them to get more data and feed it. Even when you're getting how to actually extract this data, the proper data from sources, that is also a job, right?
Completely agree, Swapna. I
Yes.
have seen this firsthand that there are models available. People are building these complex AI or ML models, but then there is not enough data that is available to train these models on. And this data engineering is very important. Even if data is available, that has to be changed or data has to be massaged in a way that is acceptable to the AI model. So this data engineering space gets very very in demand kind of a space. So that is something, yeah, I completely agree that that is something that people should look
I'll
at.
tell you my personal experience. Okay, I was working on a ML project. Okay, and can you guess the amount of time we spent on data preparation versus the amount of time we spent in, exactly training the model?
50% each.
Most of the time, 80%, 70 to 80% of the time of a ML model goes in data preparation. 70 to 80%. And even if you, and plus you have ML ops and all, right? So ML ops and these AI tools for Azure services are very, good, and you can just, directly have a flow map to it. But the data, it requires immense work. And if you have garbage data, your model is going to give you rubbish results. That is the basic thing. Okay, when these models give you the right answer, they have been trained like I don't know how many times they have. Even today when you use it, they are undergoing training every day and night,
Yeah.
and that's why the answer is bang on. Okay, but if you don't have the needed data, the needed keywords, the needed proper this thing, these models are not going to work. So this is one space to watch out for. And then obviously AI engineers are going to thrive in the future. Even engineers are going to thrive, but basically data engineers, this field is going to go ahead. I'm not sure so much about prompt engineering because I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah, prompt engineering is a hot topic in AI. So a few years back, it was very hot, and people were talking about prompt engineering is going to take up everything. It's the most in thing right now. But just in few months, it just went away.
I don't know where it went. It was
Guys, but if you want to
just came and
try these prompt engineering bots, there are few APIs which are provided by all these OpenAI and all these open source project where you can give it a prompt. There is just an API where you ask it some question and it gives you some answer in return, and you can do this manually yourself. You can write a Java Spring Boot service today and build a prompt engineering API for yourself. So it's not rocket
yeah.
science.
No, it's not gone because if you open Kubernetes or if you open AKS today, if you give it a prompt and say right, give me a code to know how many pods are running and all, so it 100% gives you the command directly, and
Yeah.
it will run and everything. Okay, so it's there, but I don't know how much level it may scale up to. But compared to that, obviously this part will be in this 2-3 years will be all about data.
You
All
know
about
why
data.
prompt engineering failed, I feel big time. You know why prompt engineering failed as well? The reason was data.
No, I have no idea.
People couldn't
Oh.
provide enough data for it to learn the questions you're asking about. Like if
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah, that's the reason. For example, if this chatbot is being used on in BMW, right? It has to be trained with BMW questions. You cannot use this with this model when it has been trained on, let's say real estate. If it has been trained on real estate, you cannot ask BMW questions to it. So data was the problem because of which prompt engineering just collapsed. It needed a lot of data.
With that, I have an interesting, I remembered an interesting scenario. In 2023, or I don't know, even recently, there was a viral post where some companies, entire production database was eliminated, removed by AI. And
Really?
it is such an interesting thing to, yes, it is such an interesting thing to understand that what was fed, or how the AI learned that it could override and delete the complete production system. Why it thought that way? It thought that way because it was given a command to clean up old logs. It was given a command to clean up old logs, and it identified the database as an old log and it deleted it completely. Imagine production database. I don't know why they even gave access to the production database. But
Think about it. Think about it. I think the reason is AI does not have any human emotions that you are talking about. Like fear is an emotion that AI won't have. Before deleting a database, it won't even think once. If it has the access, it will delete it.
when I was a fresher, I used to even be afraid of deleting one row of a database with a proper where clause.
Yeah.
Where I will be like checking it 1,000 times, running my, okay, is this correct? Is this correct? So
Hmm.
yes, AI is not perfect. It's still a long way to go, and the people, obviously, if you sell a product, you're not going to sell its problems.
Hmm.
A product, you're not going to sell the problems of a product. You are going to sell it, that it is the fantastic product and it is never going to get, there will be a never better product than this. Then only you can sell your product. So when you actually use it, you understand, okay, you used it, and even we were discussing that day, right, that how when you tell it to correct a code, it just gets so confused. I mean, I have seen it myself. I know the bug, okay. I understand it, but I just wanted to confirm it, and I just gave it a 4-line snapshot where the bug is situated. And I told it, you identify and tell me if this is the, it got confused. It actually gave me a wrong answer, and I had to prompt it that I think this is the wrong answer and this is the right one, and it told me, yeah, excellent, you have got. It's telling.
It very easily says, sorry, I was wrong, which we cannot do as
I
humans.
deleted the production database.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, AI can do that very easily, whereas humans cannot do that. So human emotions is a very important thing, even in software engineering, which AI cannot handle still. So no, your jobs are not going away, guys.
Yes, 100% not in the next, at least these 3 to 5 years. Coding is here to stay, and it is going to get easier. It is going to, some of the jobs will be displaced. So when I use the word displaced, not going away, but displaced in the sense they will change into something. And we and you, we as in even you and me, sir, you have to identify this change and go with it. Instead of fighting, instead of saying that no, not going to accept it. I think AI is something great to accept it. It can do great things in medicine, healthcare, imaging, as per it is doing great things, and we need to use it for something better.
Yeah.
And that only humans can do it. Only we can make it better. Okay, only we can do it, and this will not be the last disruption to come. Okay, there will be other disruptions. After 3 years and 5 years, you will hear that something other has come, and now AI is like, okay, it's there, but now this is going to come, and this is going to go ruin everything, and
Yes.
it's an apocalyptic situation. Okay, but we have to not be afraid. The problem of our generation and the coming generations versus the problem versus the thing of the older generations is that the older generations had it much stable. Changes were less. They had a much stable job. They had a much stable career, and everybody likes stability.
Yeah.
Okay, but
to give an example, in maybe 40 years of their career, they would have seen such disruptions in just once or twice max. But for us, we are going to see it every 3 to 5 years. And we have to be okay with it.
Yes, we have to be okay. We don't have a choice.
Yeah.
When you don't have a choice, you have to accept it. There is no other way out. You have to go with it. Okay. I am diverting a little bit, but we baat karte karte, I remembered, there's a movie, Batman pit scene. If you can Google it, I don't know if you have seen it. So in that pit scene, what happens is that, Batman, he's in this huge pit. Okay, it's kind of a well, you can say, and he's at the bottom of the well with the other prisoners. Okay, and he tries every day to get away from the pit. Okay, he ties himself a rope and he puts it, and tries to climb on the bell. And at the last step, he always falls down. There is a big jump from here to here, and he always falls down at that jump. Okay. And one day he's just sitting, completely hatash and all that. I'm never going to get out of this pit, I think. And the other prisoners say that if you, have a set of, mind block, okay, that you have a lot of chances. Like he was tying a rope, right? So he knew that if he cannot succeed this time, there will be a next chance and a next chance and a next chance. So if you tie this, support kind of a thing and you go, you will never give your 100 or more than 100%. Okay, you just leave the rope. That means if you fall down, you're going to die. The rope will not take care of you this time.
So
And
you
this time,
don't have any choice but to fight.
yeah, do or die.
Yeah.
So, and he did it without the rope, he was able to climb. That was the conclusion like that. So we are in the same situation. This has been given to us by the 0.2% of the population that is controlling the entire world.
We just have
And
to dance
we
with
have
it.
to go with it, and we have to accept it, and we have to try to better it, better it and do something. And fear is not going to take us anywhere.
Yes, don't fear AI, guys. On that note, I think we are good to close this AI debate that AI is not going to take your job, guys. And we will meet in our next podcast with one of such interesting topics, maybe a software engineering one, but we'll soon meet, and bye for now.
Yeah, bye bye.